Kevin Stefanski says Falcons are supporting Michael Penix.
My savages! MONEYMANE and the thing of a T and playing no games. Should already know my name when I speak NCC flame. Got my YouTube poppin', man. Like, subscribe, and everything in between. You already know MONEYMANE. MONEYMANE. You already know my savages.
Welcome back, my savages, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages. Kevin Stefanski done came out on the radio 92.9 The Game and said that he is trying to build a system for Michael Penix. Now, y'all can believe it, but I won't. I got to see it with my own two eyes before I can believe anything this man say. If you don't know, if you're new to the channel, man, I told you, I covered Cleveland up there all of last year and seen what he did to Shedeur Sanders. And I don't want the same thing to happen to Michael Penix. Now, I still will remain optimistic because this is my favorite team. So I believe that they will win the NFC South and make the playoffs. Just because this is the weakest conference in the NFL, I don't think Kevin is trying to develop Michael Penix because he don't like young quarterbacks. That's just my opinion. I know it, but from what I've seen with Baker Mayfield and up there in Cleveland, they got rid of Baker Mayfield. Then they traded for Deshaun Watson. They've been through 13 quarterbacks. I know Deshaun Watson decision, one Kevin Stefanski decision on their own, but the hand you were dealt, man, and then you couldn't find no quarterback after that. So whatever he about to say, I'm just warning y'all, take it with a grain of salt. Until we can see it with our own two eyes that they developing Michael Penix, they got a system for Michael Penix. They're going to start Michael Penix because they could easily come out and commit to Michael Penix regardless if he's healthy or not. They could say Michael Penix will be our starter if he is healthy. It's that simple.
Talk to Coach Kevin Stefanski here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. It's Dukes and Bell. And, Coach, appreciate the time today. I know it's been busy up there. Combine's always kind of crazy, isn't it?
It is always kind of crazy. There's a lot going on. You're getting pulled in a bunch of different directions. There's so many meetings with players. And then the fun part of this also, you get to catch up with a bunch of old friends and people you work with. So there's just somebody always around the corner that you haven't seen in a while. So it's been fun.
We always feel if we were like the coach, it would be like a kid at Christmas. I want this. I want that. When you were with Cleveland, would you just kind of tell the GM, if I could, I mean, how much input do you have and how are you working with Ian right now?
Oh, well, it's going great. Ian's he's been awesome. So impressed with how he's structuring this process. And to your point, you know, as a coach, I fall in love with all these players, and you can't draft all of them, and certainly that's not the case. But Ian gets to hear the coaches, hey man, we love this guy, we love that guy, and he does a great job of listening to us, and also he's the one that realizes that you have to have a plan, and that plan goes from not just the draft but into free agency. But it's easy as a coach to fall in love when you're here.
Kevin Stefanski drafted Dylan Gabriel up there in Cleveland, and they took him in the third round. Let that sink in. You seen how Dylan Gabriel played.
Coach Kevin Stefanski with us here on Dukes and Bell. Coach, what is it going to take on your end? And I'm not solely putting this on you. I know you have a great staff with Alex and obviously Tommy, but teaching Michael Penix to be a complete quarterback. Coach, you probably know the stats, but 9 starts in 2025. He was under center 14 of 515 snaps. And Mike and I were talking about this and saying, what is it going to take to get him to be or become that complete quarterback?
Yeah, I think there's a lot there. And I think the number one thing is to recognize there's two things, I guess, here. Is number one, health is what matters the most for Mike and where he is. And he's doing a great job of getting healthy. Then the other thing to realize is these are young players that they get better over time. None of us, and certainly none of these quarterbacks early in their career, are finished products. So that's our job to identify areas, whether it is more under center, where he has areas to grow. I mean, he's had some really good moments as a pro. I think there's been a lot of really good stuff that's happened on tape for this offense, and it's for Tommy and the offensive staff and myself to put together a plan to get a little bit more out of everybody, not just Michael Penix. But I do think young quarterbacks, you have to realize that it does take time, and that's what we're here for, is to put a system around our guys, and a system not just literally in the sense of an offensive system, but a system or a structure, maybe a better way to put it, of having a structure where these guys can develop, whether that's how we meet, that's how we practice on the field, and certainly how we play on Sundays.
Coach,
Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't feel too confident about that answer. Michael Penix health is the number one thing, but I don't think Kevin Stefanski waiting or wasting time, because now is the NFL that became a win now league. A lot of first year and second year coaches are winning now. It's not taking 6, 7 years or 5 years to build a team to make them contenders, you know what I'm saying? Or playoff teams. It's not taking that long. So I think Kevin, to me, he talking like they're gonna get it. They're gonna have to bring in another quarterback or two anyway. But I think they looking for somebody not to compete with Michael Penix, but to play for week 1. Like, they looking for somebody to play for week 1, because like I told y'all before in my other video, Michael Penix had came out and said he was good, he'll be ready. Like, man, look, a lot of players will say that, but when you get on that field, it's gonna determine how it is. And Matt Ryan and Ian Cunningham and Kevin Stefanski all along been saying the same thing. Michael Penix need to get healthy. Michael Penix need to get healthy. If Michael Penix said he was healthy a month ago, now the head coach, GM, and the president of football saying he need to get healthy, that means he ain't ready, man. I told y'all before, this year is Michael Penix's year where he got to show up and show out for them not to draft a quarterback next year. If he get that opportunity to play, because I think they will try to find a quarterback. I done heard some names going around. We're going to talk about that in the video. If you ain't subscribed, you need to like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages, because I'm going to give some names out of quarterbacks that could potentially be QB1 for the Falcons and take over Michael Penix's job. I hate to say it, but that's just the way it is and the way Kevin thinks.
Well, obviously, a lot of quarterbacks up in Cleveland. We're focused on Atlanta, but you see the trend coming out of college where just guys are just not under center. Everybody's in shotgun.
Well, here's what I'd tell you. It's the college's job. It's the college's job to score points. So I don't begrudge any of those coaches for what they do. The truth is, the game is a little bit more varied, if you will, in the NFL game, and there's a little bit more under center than there is in the collegiate game. I think if you watched the Super Bowl this year, you certainly saw that. That's not to say that there's one way to do this. I don't think there's one way is better than the other, but it's no secret that there's more under center certainly in this NFL game. But that's not the coaches in college. It's not their job to get them ready for the NFL. It's their job to go score a lot of points.
Kevin, I think.
But your offense runs the most under center out of any offense in the league. So Michael Penix is going to have to learn, bro. He's going to have to learn. He's going to have to bend them knees, turn his back to that defense, and learn how to read when he turn back around. That's just what it is. And if y'all think he can do that in 4 months, 2 months, whatever, whenever he's ready to hit that field, he's going to have to learn then. And they're going to have to be quick for him to play week 1.
Running the ball, and the people I've spoken with that know you, watched you in Cleveland, covered you, said, hey, he runs the ball. That's kind of the identity. And when you had a guy like Nick Chubb, Georgia boy, you guys ranked 3rd, 4th, 6th in the league. Is that your identity? Is that what you want to do here?
Well, I think the bigger point there, and I'd love to talk about Nick Chubb, one of my favorite players ever to coach, is the big point there is play to the strengths of your players, particularly play to the strengths of your best players. And when Nick was healthy there, man, what a joy to coach. Just one of my favorite humans on this earth. And what Nick brought to the team every single day as a person was incredible. And then the things that he did on the field, just the power, the speed, making plays out of the backfield in the pass game, breaking tackles. So I can't say enough good things about the player as well. But that, to me, speaks to this playing to the strength of your roster. And it's no secret, obviously, with our running back, with Bijan just having the ability to do it all. That's certainly something that we're excited about.
Talking with head coach.
Hey, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised that Nick Chubb is on the roster. Don't be surprised. After that statement right there, and Tyler Algier walking in free agency, don't be surprised Nick Chubb on the roster.
Coach Kevin Stefanski, guys, live from the Combine about our Falcons. Yeah, everybody's a Bijan fan. When Matt was selling you on this job, I guess that was a good selling point. Was Bijan Robinson?
It didn't hurt. Yeah, that didn't hurt. It's kind of like you had me at hello.
Now, what about another guy we found out is going to get franchise tagged? We've been watching. We've probably spent more time, Coach, talking about Kyle Pitts than any other Falcon. We just think the potential is there for him to be a superstar. And how do you see him fitting in your offense?
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about Kyle. And listen, you saw it on tape. You guys saw it live, what he's capable of and the plays he's capable of making down the field in the pass game. He's got versatility to what he does. So we're very excited about what Kyle can bring to this offense because it's another dimension. It's a guy who can you can deploy him downfield. You can get the ball in his hands underneath, and he can make a lot of plays. We've had a lot of success with tight ends over the years, and the truth is they're all different. There's some guys that are better adept at running certain routes in the intermediate zones. There's better guys that are underneath. There's certain guys that can run routes outside the numbers as like wide receivers. Some guys better in the slot. So there's so much versatility to that position. And I think that's something that Kyle certainly has.
Now, I had made a video about that already over a month ago, man. The biggest winner of the Kevin Stefanski offense is not Bijan Robinson. It's Kyle Pitts. Kevin loves to use the tight ends in everything. Closed sets, open sets, and then having a tight end like Kyle Pitts, I expect him to go over 1,000 yards receiving. I'm expecting it. I don't know who else they're gonna sign because they're gonna have to sign a second tight end because that's the way Kevin offense work. He like to run a lot of two tight ends sets, a lot of closed sets. So I'm expecting maybe David Njoku to come to Atlanta too. But we gonna see. But Kyle Pitts, I already made that video. Go look on my channel, man. If you want to watch that, Kyle Pitts, the biggest winner of Kevin Stefanski hire, and I talk about how Kyle Pitts gonna be used in this Kevin offense.
Spades.
Kevin, take us behind the curtain, if you would, a little bit. You've been doing this a long time. You've been at the Combine now for many years. These player interviews, do you think you can truly learn something about a guy that makes you want to draft him, or vice versa when you guys do these interviews? Because I've heard tons of stories over the years about these damn interviews, and I'm like, oh, do you really get what you need out of it to make you feel comfortable about a particular player?
Well, it's a little bit more nuanced, and I say that because we know a lot about them already. Right. Our scouts have done an outstanding job, so we know about them. You certainly know the tape. That you don't need to know the person to know that. But then it's a quick window into who they are as a person. It's a quick window into how they learn. Now, that's not to say that you don't do another Zoom with them later on. That's not to say that you don't bring them into your building to visit with them. But you're just trying to understand what makes them tick. So it's the total body of work when it comes to selecting players. This is a small piece of it. But for us as coaches, let's say we do take that player. Now we go into it armed with, hey, this guy, his football intelligence is at this level, and we're going to help him get to this level. Or, hey, he was really good on the board. He's going to be, not a problem at all. He's going to be able. We'll line him up all over the formation if it's a wide receiver, for instance. So it's allowing us to maybe have a head start, knowing the person, knowing the student, so that when we get them, we can hit the ground running.
Talking with the head coach of your Falcons, Kevin Stefanski, is with us here, guys, live from Indy. Another superstar you got is Drake London. Talk about him and how he fits, because we know he can also run block, which is important for your scheme.
No, I love how this guy's wired. Spoken to Drake a bunch of times, and just good person, man. He wants to win. That's what he cares about. He's really obviously a great player, and it makes so many plays for this football team. But just I like how he's wired. I like the physicality he brings to the game, both as a runner and a blocker. When the ball's in his hands, I mean, he's a reckless rack guy. He's trying to get downfield and gobble up yards. And I love that he is willing to do whatever it takes to help this team win.
Now, me personally, I got some question marks on Drake London. I ain't saying he ain't a good receiver, but I'm used to Julio Jones, Roddy White, Michael Jenkins, you know what I'm saying? Them type physical players that'll go get it, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't saying Drake London bad, but I don't think he up there with the top receivers that done came through Atlanta. At least not yet. But I don't know, man. The receivers in Kevin offense, unless you got consistent quarterback play, and right now it seems like the Falcons ain't gonna have consistent quarterback play unless they go sign a free agent to become the starter for week 1. Cause like I said, I don't know if Michael Penix is gonna be ready because they don't think Michael Penix is gonna be ready. But for Drake London to have a good year, he gonna have to have a consistent quarterback with consistent quarterback play, not just here, there, a game here, or a game now. He gonna have to have that, but I don't think he gonna hit over 1,000 yards. Not in this offense, because they don't really stretch the field like that unless he just that immaculate route runner to where he can get open on them slants, them outs, and occasionally when they go deep, if Tommy Reed changes some up, but we gonna see. But I don't expect Drake London to go over 1,000. Hopefully he do, but I don't expect it.
Coach, you rejuvenated? We hadn't had a chance to see you since the presser. I'm just curious, like for you, your family, coming out of the situation you were in, you know, all that entailed, like how do you feel coming here to Atlanta, and what's the sense for you in the position you're in now with this new front office and this new opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very, very excited. Now, I don't say that as a slight to anything from the past. I could just tell you, I cannot wait for April 7th. I can't wait to get my hands on the players and coach them and stand in front of them and get to know them. This is why we do this. And I can't wait for you guys, and I can't wait for our fans to get to know our coaches. I want you guys to understand what makes them tick. I want you to understand the people that we're able to bring up to Flowery Branch. This is I think it can be a special group of people. Now, having said all that, all we're going to do is work. I don't think you're going to hear from me and our players all these bold proclamations and those type of things. We're just going to promise you guys we are going to put in the work.
Right. And speaking of the work, it's got to be so frustrating. We know Michael Penix Jr. He's a good kid, and they love him. He's a leader on this team, and he was on his way. How does he work now? Is it mental reps? What does he do with you guys and with your coaching staff?
Right now, it's all rehab. That's really all that matters. And truly, that's all we're allowed to do with him. Okay. We're not allowed to do football right now. And that's okay. We'll have time to get to football once April 7th rolls around. But for right now, it is rehab, around the clock. And he's doing awesome. He's doing a great job.
Kevin Stefanski, I was surprised. Maybe I wasn't the only one when you said in the first presser, you won't be calling plays. And I know you've talked about this, but can you explain to our audience and Falcon fans again why? Because a lot of Falcon fans said, wait a minute, Stefanski's got experience. He's done this. What is the decision process there to not call plays?
Before you answer that question, I'm going to go ahead and give my opinion, man. I think Kevin ain't going to call plays because he need a scapegoat. He done gave up play calling the last 2 years up there in Cleveland after they started abysmal. Like the season started off horrible, and midway he gave the play calling up to the offensive coordinator. And Tommy Reese, this is only his second year being with Kevin, I think, or second or third year, because I think they had a different offensive coordinator before, but I think Tommy Reese was already on the staff. That's what it was. But hopefully Tommy Reese drawing up some stuff in the dirt that ain't from Kevin. You know what I'm saying? But from what I've seen up there, I don't think it's going to too much make a difference far as the play calling type. But you got a superstar in Bijan, so that could change a lot for as how he's utilizing this offense, and certain plays that they was running could become touchdowns or big explosive plays just based off of him. So we gonna see.
Yeah, calling plays to me, it's important. I don't want to make it seem like it's not important, but what's more important to me are the meetings and the time spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday putting together the game plan. That's what's most important. The calling plays is a very, very collaborative process. That's something that when I was doing it, and now as Tommy does it, you're including a lot of people in that decision making. Bill Callahan is a huge voice in that decision making on Sunday. I'm going to try to do my very best to help Tommy. So it's not like a one man show type of thing. I've had Tommy call plays for me. I know the why behind his plays. I've seen the flow in which he does it. There's a little bit of art. There's a little bit of science to it. I'm very, very comfortable with him doing it. But I also make the point that he's not doing it by himself. There's a bunch of people helping him. And those meetings throughout the week are more important. the play itself and the design of the play is more important than the time in which it comes off the call sheet and when it gets read and sent into the quarterback. That's important. But I place more importance on those meetings and putting the plan together.
And, Coach, we know you had a relationship from your time in Minnesota with Kevin Stefanski. That option now looks to be off the books. It seems to be from us doing talk radio that Flacco seems like a perfect fit. Would Joe be amenable to being spackled in there one more time?
Listen, we're working through everything right now when it comes to decisions on our roster. Obviously, Joe's a guy I have a lot of history with, love the person. But as it relates to any decision, those things we're going to have to work through all of it.
Gotcha.
St. Elmo overrated?
No.
I know. I love it.
Prime rib.
I'd say it's properly rated.
There you go.
See, I think prime rib. And finally, Coach, we didn't get a chance because it was the big media scrum at Mercedes-Benz. You are a big Pearl Jam fan, I have read.
I'm a very big Pearl Jam fan, and we need them to hire a drummer so they can go on tour.
Yes. Well, maybe hearing this, they will.
Yes.
Maybe hearing.
That was one of my surprises, man. Joe Flacco is in the discussion of becoming a Falcons quarterback on this roster. If it's second string, if it's QB1, second string, or third string, Joe Flacco's name is in there. But I got more names that you might not have heard of, or you may have already heard of. But if you want to see my opinion or hear my opinion about the Falcons quarterback situation, that's why you need to like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages, man. But like I said, Kevin Stefanski, he got to show me and just not talk, because this man been lying, and I don't believe nothing he say. And he one of the ones, lied to me so much that you gotta show me and prove me wrong, and just not talk about it. So like I said, I want to stay optimistic. I want the Falcons to win. I don't want the Falcons to lose, man. I want the Falcons to win and be successful. But at the same time, I want that same thing for Michael Penix. And I don't want him to get sabotaged or screwed over, because like I said, I'm going to tell y'all one more time, I made that video over a month ago about how Michael Penix's career might be over in Atlanta just because they hired Kevin Stefanski. Now, a month later, that's all you hear. That's all you see on Twitter. That's all you hearing on the news is Michael Penix ready. Who's going to be the quarterback for the Falcons? Y'all wasn't saying none of that last year. You weren't saying none of that last year. When Michael Penix was confirmed to be the starter. I don't care about no injury. You can confirm that Michael Penix will be the starter when he's ready. Or we going to try to get him up. Hopefully he be ready for week 1, and he's going to be the starter. You can easily come out and say that, but they won't commit, and they probably won't never commit. So that's what it is, man. I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savage. Y'all already know what time it is.
My savages. MONEYMANE and the thing of a T, ain't playing no games. Should already know my name when I speak in CC Flame. Got my YouTube poppin', man. Like, subscribe, and everything in between. You already know MONEYMANE. You already know.